Hey everybody, Jane here, and today I want to talk to you about Sworn to Silence. This is the first book in the series by Linda Castillo, and it was an interesting one. This author is actually from Ohio, and I loved reading a book from an Ohio author, even though they eventually did move out of state, I believe it said, to Texas. So in this mystery, our main character is Kate, and she is the chief of police in a small town. And this small town has a large Amish population, and we learn that Kate grew up Amish but left the Amish community. And part of the reason I think she became the police chief in this area is because she wanted to help bridge some of the gap between the English and the Amish and help everybody get along a little bit better. Unfortunately for her, she's in a little bit over her head because a murder happens. And this isn't just your everyday run-of-the-mill murder. It is a murder that appears to have been done by a serial killer. But this serial killer hasn't attacked anybody in like 16 years. And so she wonders if it's a copycat. Especially because she has very good reasons to believe that the original serial killer is dead. So Kate starts investigating, and shortly she is forced to call in reinforcements. One of the reinforcements that is called in is a guy named John Tomasetti. He is a complex character. He has a drinking problem and a drug problem and a lot of other problems, and the police force have basically sent him to help Katie so that when he fails miserably, they can kick him out of the police force. So naturally, Katie and him start to fall for each other as they're trying to solve this murder. I had such mixed feelings about this book. I ended up rating it a 3 out of 5. And I think for me, the biggest thing was there wasn't enough focus on the mystery, and there was too much focus on Kate's background and also on her relationship with John. I felt like there was too much focus on this book on Kate's relationship with John and Kate's past, and there's just a little too much going on that had nothing to do with the mystery, that I felt like the mystery very much took a back seat. And sometimes that's okay if the characters are really interesting and engaging, but I had a hard time liking both Kate and John. John is just kind of a rough character to like, and Kate is complex. So I really loved her connection to her family, who are still Amish. I loved the complexity of not being Amish anymore, but still like having those memories, having that community. As somebody who left the faith of their childhood, which was also a very conservative faith and a very community-based faith, like I could so relate to so much of what Kate was going through. And the complexities of dealing with siblings who obviously have different belief systems and who think you've made the wrong life choices. So that part I really liked about Kate. However, there is a whole subplot where she has some involvement with what the serial killer case that was years ago, and that ended up taking a lot of focus in this book, particularly because it doesn't show her in her best light, and she's afraid that if some of the facts come to light about what happened, that she could lose her job and that a lot of people could get hurt. So I didn't love the subterfuge stuff she was trying to do to keep that from happening, to keep the secrets of what had happened with the serial killer 16 years ago out of the limelight. And it definitely caused her to make some bad decisions and to be a little hesitant about the way that they were going to move the investigation. I didn't love that about her, and I felt like in some ways that wasn't appropriate for a first book in the series, because it was almost too much. And we're trying to appreciate Kate and connect with Kate, and she's supposed to be the hero of the story in many ways. Her parts of the story are told in first person, so there's a lot of I. And it's just very hard to connect with her because of some of the choices she's making. On the other hand, the secondary characters, the ones that she works in the police force with, are awesome. She is great to them, and I think because they love her, we try to love her, want to love her. I definitely found the secondary characters more interesting than more not interesting, but more relatable, more that I could connect to. I liked the secondary characters better than Kate or John, who are kind of the main characters in this. John, I don't want to say he's a bit of an unlikable character as well. He's done some stuff. And while I didn't necessarily disagree with what he'd done, I definitely, we read these books because we like justice. And we want the policemen to be the good guys. And not that John's not a good guy, but he's definitely a complex character like Kate. So I had some issues with the fact that the two main characters were hard to connect to, and I would have almost liked this to have been a second book in the series, and it would have been nice to get to know Kate without her trying to manipulate the investigation, hide things because of her connection to what happened last time. So I did definitely have a hard time with that part of the book. I loved the setting. I love the idea of, Kate as a go-between between the Amish and the English. I loved how her family, she has to kind of deal with her family a little bit because of what happened before and, what's happening now. I really liked a lot of that stuff, but I would have liked to maybe seen it in a second book after I had a chance to get to know Kate. At book club, I described it as going on a date with somebody and they tell you, like, before you've even gotten into your entrees on your first date, the very worst thing they've ever done. And it's like, thanks for being upfront. I appreciate that I know this about you, but now that's going to tarnish how I feel about you and my ability to connect with you, the rest of the date. And we're probably not going to have a second date. Whereas if I got to know you and saw that you're a complex, interesting person, a really good chief of police, really loved by the people who are working with her, and I really appreciate you, but you can hint that there's a little dark secret going on. But, save it for book 2. Save it for at least after dessert on our first date. So I just felt like that was one of the biggest problems with this book. There was too much revealed too fast about the characters. And because of that, I wasn't able to connect with her the way I would have liked to. Also, I didn't like her and John's relationship very much. I thought it was weird. And it didn't have a romantic build-up that sometimes these type of books can have. Like, I love a romance in a mystery series. That is something I adore. I think they should be there most of the time. But this one just felt almost rushed and unnatural and more lusty in some ways than lovey, even though these characters do have a lot in common. And they do, I think they could. I believe in their potential to be happily ever after. I just really struggled because I was like, the way we're introduced to the relationship didn't work for me, even though I thought the characters could have a good relationship. And kind of similarly, I didn't have a chance to get to know you properly. And I'm trying to get to know you all and root for your relationship and solve this crime. And it's all just a lot. And it was a lot, and I think for me, it was too much in a first book in the series. I wish the author had slowed down a little bit. However, now that all of this stuff is out in the open, I'm guessing I'll really enjoy the series if I continue. Because I'm hoping next time we can focus a little more on the murder today. and what's going on today, and the detecting skills today. So I am actually looking forward to continuing the series. It wasn't bad. I felt like the focus wasn't where I wanted it to be, and the focus where it was kind of distracting. So have you read Sworn to Silence? Have you read other books in the series? I will warn you, some people in the book club, not me, but other people found this a little on the graphic side. So if you are sensitive to graphic violence, skip this one maybe. But yeah, have you read? Did you like? I look forward to your comments. If there are other mystery series you think I would enjoy, please leave those down in the comments below as well. Remember to like and remember to subscribe. Also, my social media is below, and in that social media is links to my books on Amazon and Smashwords, books that I have written. I've not written mysteries, but I do write romance, so I know a little bit about chemistry and what it takes to bring a guy and a girl together in a book and make it work and make it believable. So, please check out my books, and I will see you next time. Bye.